Hey everybody, welcome back to this joint video series that Karen and I are doing. So in this series, or in this episode, I should call it, Karen and I are going to answer the question, who should make videos for the scientist? Should it be the scientist, a professional crew, or something else? What do you think, Karen?
Well, I think that it should be the scientist, and I think students and scientists are perfectly capable of making videos themselves. That's my view based on my experience and the things that I've learned by making videos that has helped me in both my scientific presentations and also even in my writing. Making videos has really helped me identify the message that I want to get across in whatever information product I'm producing. So I'm all for scientists being the ones who make videos.
I am as well. In fact, I think when I started making videos, several years back, first of all, I couldn't afford to pay for somebody else to do that. But there are not enough professional video makers out there to make all the science videos that I think, and probably you think, need to be made. There's just too many cool ideas that scientists can share on video. And if we can just learn how to make our own videos, then we can get those out there.
Yeah,
and a little bit. Oh, go ahead, Karen.
I was going to say, and I think when we talked before about this, you said that you felt really intimidated if there was a film crew, whereas you felt freer to talk on camera if there wasn't that pressure of a crew waiting for you to
kind of finish up, right?
Finish up, yeah, and or to, if you had to retake something, you would feel like you were wasting the film crew's time. Whereas if you're by yourself, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable looking into a camera with nobody behind it than if I'm looking into a camera and I know there's somebody who I hardly know there, and I have to think about, well, what do they think of me? Do they think I know what I'm talking about? Am I articulate? It's far easier to just to have it be me and the camera. Some of the hard part of that is that it takes a little bit of work to learn how to smile with nobody there, or to act as if somebody is there, because nobody is there. One thing that I've found often is, you can put a picture of somebody up there, like somebody, like your mother or your brother or sister or one of your friends, just to kind of remind yourself, I'm talking to somebody, even if you're just looking into the camera.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you do?
I try to imagine an audience, and I've never used your idea of putting a picture up, but I could see how that would help.
Yeah, I mean, especially a picture of somebody who I know is a big supporter, like my mom, or my dad, somebody like that. I think can be really.
And that's actually not a bad idea, to picture somebody like your parents or siblings or nephews and nieces who are not scientists, because if you're making a video for the general public, it really helps to imagine explaining it to somebody who really doesn't have the science background. And that really, you really need to have your audience envisioned, whatever I mean, you may be making a video for other scientists, but many of us are making videos that not only scientists can understand, but also that resource managers, and for you, I think farmers can understand. And so you're trying to reach a broader audience, in other words. And so you've got to have that audience clearly in your mind.
That's true. I am trying to reach a broad audience. And I know when I'm giving a talk to an audience, I often will make eye contact with the people who are looking at me and smiling often. And so I try to imagine some people behind that camera lens smiling and looking back. And, you know, I try to be enthusiastic when I do that. And that can take some practice, but it's not that difficult. So I really think it's important that scientists make their own videos.
Yeah, and I mean, I was intimidated at first, appearing on camera and trying to speak to the camera. And I actually didn't start out doing that. I started out by taking my camera into the field with me and just setting it up and shooting footage of me and my field assistants or students collecting samples. And, you know, we'd be just talking about, well, this is really difficult. We need to take more samples here, or we need to do something differently. Or sometimes I would, and then I gradually, it made an advancement. So what I would eventually be able to do is I would stop sampling and I would look at the camera and I would explain what I was doing, and I would just do it for a few seconds. And gradually I got used to speaking to the camera that way. And I would encourage the people that were in the field with me, I would encourage them to say something. And so later I would put that together with voiceover that I would do that would explain more about the project that we were doing, where we were doing it, showing maps or satellite images, whatever the case may be, and put it together into a polished video.
Good. And, you know, I guess another reason why I think it's important for scientists to make their own videos is because you want your video to express who you are, not who a professional crew thinks your research is conveying. And hopefully you can do that in an interesting way.
Right.
But it makes them your videos more personal, you know, and I think that's really important. A lot of my first video had almost no actual video footage. It had just a lot of photographs and then mainly was voiceover. But that's you know, that's very doable. I think often maybe a professional crew may have more of a bias to use video, and maybe that's not where every scientist needs to start.
Perhaps.
I know for me, it took quite a while before I was actually on screen for any amount of time. But I think those early videos still were they were okay. I've definitely gotten better as I've practiced and tried different things and made mistakes, and that's part of the fun.
Yeah, and I gradually became better at speaking on camera, and I was eventually interviewed by other people who were wielding the camera. I've been thinking about a time when someone in my agency sent a videographer around to all of the scientists and interviewed them about their research. And I took him out to the greenhouse where we had an experiment going, and he basically just said, "Action." And I just started talking about my research and pointing out the plants that we were using and explaining what we were doing with them and the treatments we were applying. And then when we finished, he sort of frowned and looked at me. He said, "Have you done this before? Because that was really good."
Oh, well, that's good.
So I was surprised that it had come across that well, because I felt totally unnatural doing it. And that's what I've learned, is that even if you feel unnatural, the more unnatural you feel, I think the better you come across on camera, because I think you're conveying something about yourself that normally you would be trying to hide, and talking to the camera, you can't hide.
No, you can't. You know, this one person that I know who makes a lot of videos, he's not a scientist, but he once told me, he said, "You know, Eric, when you make a video, what you want to try to do is show your enthusiasm. And if you seem like you're slightly more enthusiastic than maybe you're comfortable with, that's probably the perfect spot.
Exactly.
You know? Because the worst thing to do is to sit up there and just talk in a monotone voice and, not have any expression.
Right.
And that will put people to sleep right away. There's some other, tips that we'll deal with in other questions for that. But yeah, I agree completely with you that, do-it-yourself videos are the way for scientists to go.
Yeah, and if you're doing it yourself, you have no compunction about reshooting all of it or part of it if you're not happy with it. Whereas if there's a film crew, you feel like you're wasting their time if you say, oh, hey, let's stop and reshoot that. I didn't really say that the way I wanted to say it. But if you're by yourself, you can just stop, reset the camera, and reshoot or shoot another version of whatever you're trying to film.
Yeah, I know I've done a lot of retakes, and I think it's important to feel comfortable with doing that.
And another point to make is that if you do a so-called talking head video where it's just you or another scientist speaking on camera, it's important in the editing to use cutaways to cut away to an image or footage that shows what the speaker is talking about. It might be an animal, it might be a plant, it might be landscape, it might be an instrument. But, and most of the time, when I shoot, I'm out in the field, and if I'm talking about a plant, I'll make sure to shoot some footage of that plant or an instrument that I've been using or that someone else is using. And then I'll use that as a cutaway, cut into the footage of the talking head. And it makes the viewer feel like something interesting is happening rather than just somebody talking and talking and talking on camera.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. So do you think we're ready for the closing up of this and giving the viewers a little bit of homework or some tips?
I wanted to say one more thing that I think is important about scientists making videos, and that is, this is especially true for students, and that is it's really good communication. It gives you some practice improving your communication skills. Making a video will really teach you a lot about speaking, about distilling your message down to the essentials of your research and getting it across in a short period of time. And if you have a film crew shooting, you're not going to get that experience.
That's a good point. Yeah, it gives you the chance to practice a lot more to kind of hone those skills. So here's kind of what we call a tip or the homework or the actionable item that we hope that you will all, or those of you who are interested in video making, will try. So what we want you to do is we want you to take whatever video recording device you have, whether it's a cell phone or a DSLR camera or a standard web video camera, whatever you've got right now. Don't go out and buy anything. And take that and then record yourself in several different environments where you think you might want to make a video of your research. If you're a agricultural scientist like me, you might record yourself outside in the field. You might record yourself in your lab, things like that. And then take that video footage, and it doesn't have to be about anything specific. What we want you to just do is see, what do you think of the quality of the video as well as the audio? Ask yourself a few questions like, could you hear the audio? Was there a lot of noise from wind or something else in the background? Was the video crisp? Can you think of anything else, Karen, that you might look for in the quality there?
No, I think the idea is to start. This exercise will make you start becoming aware of the things that you need to watch out for when you're filming.
Yeah.
And it may help you get started feeling comfortable filming yourself on camera and just being comfortable speaking to the camera.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. And also kind of learn some of the tools, like maybe the tools that you've got are adequate, or you might realize, you know, I actually need to get something different. I know for myself, you know, I've been using the same DSLR camera for all my videos since 2012. And, you know, it served me well for all my still images, all my photographs, as well as all my video making. But it's taken me a while to figure out how to use it well in different environments.
Well, I think we can wrap it up. And the answer to this particular question is, I think we're both in agreement that videos should be made by the scientist. And we've gone through all the reasons that we think it's beneficial for the scientists to make their own videos.
Sounds good.